So Maumee Bay, about 10 miles away from Toledo, and we are located kind of at the mouth of where the Maumee River dumps into Lake Erie. So we are the bay of the Maumee River, hence Maumee Bay State Park. What's really neat about Maumee Bay, there's a lot of history, not only were we part of like kind of the edges of the Great Black Swamp, which was a historical swamp. It was a really big barrier for settling this area because it was huge. And if you think of a swamp, it's not a place where you're like, yep, that's where I'm gonna put a house. But at one point it actually was like a beachfront community. And there was a huge historic flooding. And with that, they decided they didn't want to rebuild. The land was acquired in '74 and it became a state park in 1975. If you're looking for, hey, I want to go out to a park, what am I going to do here at Maumee Bay? Lots of different things. So Maumee Bay has about 11 miles of trails, almost 2,000 acres. And with that, we have a really cool mix of things. You get this really awesome wetland habitat that is easy to access because we have a 2-mile long boardwalk. So you actually get to walk into the wetland, which a lot of times it's a little hard to do because, as the name might imply, it is wet. But besides trails, we have a lot of other awesome features.
So H2 Ohio was started in 2019 by Governor DeWine to help the water quality.
Quite candidly, our state will never fully flourish as long as we continue to lurch from water crisis to water crisis. H2 Ohio is aimed at dealing with that.
And since we're right on Lake Erie, that's very important because 12 million people actually get their drinking water from Lake Erie. If you walk down the boardwalk, there's some dike walls, and they're using pumps to actually pump water out of the fields into here because wetlands act as sponges, or they're the kidneys, and they clarify things. So that is the purpose of this, to help try to take phosphorus and different toxins out of the water. So it's really cool and unique that our park has that site here.
We also have something that I'm personally very fond of is our nature center here, the Troutman Nature Center at Maumee Bay State Park, which houses native animals as well as different information about the natural history of the area. All of our naturals programs, they're all free. We do things like archery, fishing, kayaking, and then we have some really neat animal programs that we go out and let people get a chance to get a closer encounter with some of our native wildlife, like our education animals. We'll get a chance to touch a snake or touch a turtle.
We actually have schools that'll come in here and do programs as well. So we utilize the boardwalk here or the pond out front, and we look for macroinvertebrates, which can indicate water quality as well. And then also the main thing we do is we take people or groups kayaking out in the inland lake. It's very great for beginners. It's just the inland lake. It usually is pretty calm, so it makes a great place for beginners. And then we also talk about the wetlands and how important the wetlands are as well.
Of the native flora and fauna, you might see birds, of course, are going to be one of the most common things. May being the time that people come for birding, we have a lot of neotropical migrants. Migrant species of birds coming from South, Central America and Mexico, all the way to breed up here in the northern part of North America and Canada. One of the highlights of people looking for the warblers here are going to be like the black burnie and the black-throated blue, the yellow warbler, the prothonotary warbler. But we don't have just migrants. We have a lot of really awesome year-round species. And we are quite filled with amphibians and reptiles. We have plenty of water snakes, garter snakes, and green frogs, leopard frogs, bullfrogs. And besides the scaly friends that I just showed you, we also have one of the people's favorite things to see here, parkgoers' favorite things to see are our deer. We have quite the population of the white-tailed deer, but besides that, we also have a really good selection of other mammals to see. The addition of like having this in part of our Ohio State Park system, it's really great because you get that human recreation and this nice example of native habitat. And here at the Nature Center, we are a resource for teachers. So if you're looking for a place to do field trips for us to come to you or you to come to us, nothing to pay for, you can come and join in. So please think of us as a resource if you're looking for things to get you connected with something that maybe you haven't tried before.